Hello, welcome to another episode of the Indie Founder Podcast, the podcast about what's really like to bootstrap a company. In today's episode, the agenda is to talk a little bit about the strategy for 2026. I already mentioned in past episodes that for us this year, we're going to focus on distribution. Distribution is key, is the sentence that I keep repeating. And I think that the first 2 weeks of the month, of the year, have been quite important for us to be able to tune the strategy and really understand how we can split the roles between myself and my co-founder João. And I think there are already some interesting results and conclusions that we're able to take from this first 2 weeks that I want to share with you. So that's the topic of the episode. I hope this is interesting and then that you stick with me until the end. Like always, if you have any questions or feedback, feel free to shoot me a message either on Twitter, WBTiago, on LinkedIn, the link will be in the show notes, or as well, if you're listening to this on Spotify, you can actually leave a comment here, or YouTube as well. You can leave a comment there. So if you're doing that, leaving a comment, subscribing to the channel, leaving a review, whatever you can do, as you're listening to this, you just need your ears, right? So you just go there and give it a review, for instance, a 5-star review. That'd be crazy. Or crazy, maybe that's a little bit too much. But that would really help this podcast grow. So yeah, that type of engagement, likes, review, comments, subscribing to the channel, all of that is really, really important for the Indie Founder Podcast. Now, let's get started. Distribution is key, right? That's the sentence that I've been saying a lot, both here and then in my social media. But what does this really mean, right? How can we really take the full power of this? At first, I thought that this would mean social media. Because as an indie maker, I started learning about this crafts, about indie making, about bootstrapping from Twitter, right? And on Twitter, we have makers, a lot of them that started at the same time that I did, that now are making a lot of money. Names that come to my head immediately, and probably to yours. Peter Levels, Tony Dean, Thibaut, and Daniel Postman, I think that's his name, and many, many, many others. These people have a lot of success in their social media. And if you remember the last episode where I had my kind of Twitter fight, my point was that the reason why they're also able to launch new products and have success is because they have this amazing distribution, which is the engagement of their followers. And that's why I had this kind of argument with Peter Levels. If you want, go listen to the past episode. But I just realized that I am biased. I am biased to believe that the only way to do proper distribution is through social media. Why? Because that's the example I have. I take the example from the successful people on Twitter. But I started realizing that Twitter is not the whole indie maker world. There's a lot of people, and by the way, if you listen to or you watch the YouTube channel on like Starter Story, even though they invited me and then they realized that I was not good enough, I guess, to make a video, but putting the personal part aside, there are a lot of other makers there that have a lot of success and they don't have a social media presence. So how do they do it? Well, they use other ways. What other ways? SEO, right? SEO, some of them use Reddit. They are really good at forums. Some others use apps like the App Store. They're really good in app stores. Some others use LTDs. There's a lot of great videos. If you go on Starter Story, there's some videos recently. My co-founder shared one with me about how a guy, by just using LTDs, is able to create multiple apps and have success with them. So we thought, okay, we are not very good with social media. I mean, I am okay. My co-founder, he does not like that at all. I'm okay. I mean, I have around almost 6,000 followers on Twitter. I have a lot of engagement on LinkedIn, or some engagement on LinkedIn, but still it's far, far, far away from the engagement that the Peter levels of this world have. So how else can we take full advantage of this distribution is key? What is working for us? And the answer is SEO. SEO is working for us. We're able to grow PodSqueeze. And I'm more and more, I'm proud about this, because if I was just recently looking at all the competitors that started with us, and all of them are closing shop. Really. There's multiple competitors, like PodSqueeze competitors, VC backed competitors that are now closing shop because they couldn't make it. And PodSqueeze is there. I mean, we are not incredibly growing like 50% a year, but we are growing. And I think we have a nice brand, good presence. We did it through SEO. And it seems that we're able to replicate that. Flarecut, for instance, another of our products, has great SEO. And all the others. So there's kind of a recipe that we understand that we can follow. So the idea is, okay, let's take this and let's replicate it. Let's have multiple ideas and create multiple products, fill them with SEO, and create a little empire of products that point to each other, that give backlinks to each other, and that in the future, if I want to launch something else, something new, my distribution is all of this SEO domain empire that we're just creating. I love the word empire. Maybe it's a bit too epic, but which is the same as like Peter Levels. Every time he wants to share something, he uses his reach on Twitter. We will use our reach on Google. Now, there was something missing here. There was always something missing here, which is the product part. Because what we're thinking is, okay, so if SEO, if distribution is the only important thing, this means that the product is secondary. This means that we can just find something that has a keyword with searches, and we create something that kind of works, an MVP, very simple. Then we forget about the product and we just focus on SEO. And I always felt that there was something lacking in this strategy. Something that I now name it as community, or not only community, but community and product, or care. You need to care about it. And I know that this sounds a bit romantic. What does it mean to care about the product? In the end, you just care about your MRR. But I think one thing is connected to the other. So if you care about the product, you care about the users, you get their feedback, and you understand what's going right and what's going wrong. You fix it. And by fixing the product, you increase your session duration. And by increasing your session duration, Google pins that website as a good website to be shown in the top results. So it helps with SEO. So that's important, right? By caring about the users, by creating a connection with the users, they will also see you and not see only a website. They will see a person, they will see a team. There will be a connection. So this means that next time we send a newsletter to all of them, they will open and they will actually read it. Now, these kind of things are very hard to quantize. They are very hard to have in the dashboard. It's like word of mouth, or when you do TV ads, the brand will be in their heads, but doesn't mean that they will immediately come to your product. Maybe then they will see it on YouTube or on Google, whatever, and then they will come to your product, and they will say in your survey, your onboarding survey, that they found you through Google, but they already found you before through an influencer, through something else. So how do we put all of this into a pipeline into this workflow that we want to build? And I think we figured it out. So we have two founders. two members of the team. One member is my co-founder as well. He's really good, really smart. And the things that he loves doing is, okay, give me a very specific task and I'll figure it out and I'll work on it and I'll have success with it. He likes more being in the back end, building ways to grow our SEO, building ways to automate our production of blogs. He does not like all the community part. He does not have the same passion for product. He does have passion from product, but I guess not as much as I do. So I think the way we are going to split things is he's going to be focused on the SEO part, on as well the product part, because now with AI, he can build and improve things. So we both share that. And I will be more focused on trying to understand what the users want. I love creating dashboards and seeing how people are interacting with the product and increasing the flow or improving certain things. I love that. So I'll be focused on that. I'll be focused on the newsletter. I'll be focused on the YouTube. And the flow I'm following now is I sit down on my desk and we have now many products. And for instance, with PodSqueeze, right? I start playing around with PodSqueeze for this podcast. And I notice that something is wrong. So I fix it. And when I fix it, or a user tells me something, and I notice that they are complaining about something, or they gave me feedback about something, and I notice that they are right, and I fix it. So there's a few hours of my day that go for that. Then I go downstairs, because now we have a nice studio, and I record a quick video showing the things I've done. So, hey guys, now recently, for instance, with Flarecut, we improved a few things on the Flarecut API. So I record a quick video saying, hey, this is what I've done. I record my screen and I tell them, this is what I've done. Now you can do this. It's much better, blah. I post it on YouTube. Then my automation picks that up and creates a newsletter from that, creates a LinkedIn post from that. So our AI employees take that video that I created and share it through my social media, through my newsletter, in a very personalized way. So it's kind of a mix between AI and me, right? I am the one creating the videos. I am the one still giving the passion. But then we have these employees, AI employees, that are taking that and spreading the word. So I focus on that. I focus on the newsletter. So at the moment, all of our products have a newsletter. They have a blog post, SEO presence, and they have a YouTube channel. So those are the three core pillars of each product. And we're always creating content for that. Always. And then they will be pointing to each other. Like there's this universe. I think universe is a better word than empire, by the way. This universe of products where PodSqueeze points to the audio enhancer. Audio enhancer points to the video quality enhancer. The video quality enhancer points to PodSqueeze. And then my podcast points to Rank Chase. So you know what I mean? And the goal is that if we have this very nice oiled machine working for us in terms of content, plus the SEO part that keeps growing, that we're able to automate so that we create more articles, more landing pages, I think we can create something amazing. I for the first time, I look at this method and I see, okay, there's something that we can scale, something that we can grow, something where a bigger team would fit in, something where if we would raise money, we would know where to spend this money. It's not just building one product, it's building a universe. I'll bring the word again, an empire of different products that are not dependent only on SEO, are not dependent only on social media. They distribute across multiple things. They depend on each other. They depend on SEO. They depend on YouTube. They have the newsletter where I can connect directly with the users without any algorithm in between. And it's beautiful. And that's the strategy. So you'll see more content. And if you want to follow this content, you can follow, and I will link everything in the show notes, but you can follow Rank Chase, Flarecut, PodSqueeze, all on YouTube, and you'll be seeing all the videos that I'm creating. You can follow the Indie Founder podcast as well on YouTube, because I will start creating more videos. So we have the podcast, and I want to create short videos with tips on how to increase your SEO, on whatever, like things that I want to be more tip specific, really concrete ideas and thoughts that you can take and apply to your own business, and interviews and so on. Of course, that the only issue with this is that even though we have the AI to help us out, there's still so much work that it's easy to get a bit overwhelmed. But I need to take a deep breath, and I'm excited about this year. And yeah, that's the framework we'll be following. So if you have any questions, once again, feel free to write down in the comments here on, if you're listening on Spotify. If you have topics of things that I should mention or talk about in the next episodes as well, I would love to hear from you. I don't like this to be a just one-sided conversation, right? Every week we are here together for 30 minutes, 1 hour. So let's make it fun. Shoot me a message. Say hi. Ask me a question, even if you don't want me to share on here on the podcast. Like every time someone comes to me and says, "Tiago, I've been listening to your podcast and motivated me to start a business, and it helped me unlock this challenge I was having with my SaaS." Wow, that's amazing! I love it. So that's the end of today's episode. I hope you found it interesting, and have a lovely, lovely week. Bye bye.